Kal, Halalium, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And Shalom to all the sincere Akim out there, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four winds, the four corners of the earth. Shalom. So this is going to be a lesson going into how there's a difference, there's a delineation between the Israelites and you so-called Africans, man. You Hamites, man. The most I put a difference, man, between the Negroes, because especially the Southern Kingdom, man, a large majority of the Southern Kingdom, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians are under that vibration that you're African, which you are not, man. You are not Hamites, man. So there's a strict delineation between the indigenous Africans, man. And when I say indigenous Africans, I'm talking about East Africans, Ethiopians, Southern Africans, Northern Africans, Egyptians, man, Sudanese, man. All these peoples, these indigenous Africans are different from the Negroes, man. And also there are many Israelites in Western Africa, man, because that's where the Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians were taken from. So you have many Israelite tribes in West Africa to this day that are different from the indigenous Africans, man. We have Israelite tribes such as the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Mandinka, the Ashanti, the Kromanti, the Fanti, so on and so forth, man. And you can tell by their customs being different from the indigenous Africans, Hamites. So this is the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. There you go. The Egyptians are who? Descendants of Ham, man. Africans, man. What you would call Sudanese people today, man. Those tall, dark, dusty Africans, man. Why? Because they have been, really, they were the ancient Egyptians, man. But they even have been pushed out of that land of Egypt today. And you have Arabs and Greeks done took over the land of Egypt, man. But the original inhabitants of Egypt are Africans, man, who are mainly predominantly in the Sudan, man. Those tall, black, dusty Hamites, man. Like Manute Bol, man. He's an Egyptian, man, an ancient Egyptian. So there's a difference, and you can clearly see that, man. With Manute Bol, for an example, there's a clear difference between Manute Bol, who is 7 foot plus, and Shaquille O'Neal, who is 7 foot plus. Shaquille O'Neal, an Israelite, he plays with style and flavor, you know what I mean? And Manute Bol, who's a Hamite, an Egyptian. A clear delineation, man. We have the salt and flavor. So-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, we have the salt and flavor, man. Even though we were taken from Africa, we fled into that land of Africa in 70 AD, fleeing Roman persecution, man. And there was always a strict delineation between our civilizations in West Africa and the Hamites, man. The Egyptians, the Southern Africans, the East Africans, the Central Africans. There was a strict delineation, man. And those Hamites sold us into slavery, man. Why? Because they know there was a difference between us and them. Going back to antiquity. So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, where I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is clearly and plainly saying unto Moses to tell the children of Israel, what? Do not follow after the ways of the Egyptians, who are Hamites, from the lineage of Mizraim. And don't follow after the ways of the Canaanites, man, who are not a nation of Hamites, man. Why? Because they're doings of the ways of Satan, man. They have demonic ways and customs, man. They put plates in their lips. They circumcise their women, man. They practice homosexual, and it's gonna get into that, man. So I'll jump down to the to the 19th verse. And so these are all the ways of the Egyptians that the Most High is, the Egyptians and the Canaanites that the Most High is warning Israel from. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her cleanness. So you're not supposed to deal with a woman who is menstruating, man, which the Egyptians were doing. Why? Because they're heathens. Verse 20, moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her, which the Egyptians and the Canaanites were doing, man. All heathenistic, wicked customs, man. Verse 21, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord. So what? So these demonic Hamites, they were sacrificing their kids, their children, to false gods, man, to idols. And the Most High is warning what? Israel, no, don't do that, man. Don't do after the ways of these Hamites. Verse 22, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Homosexuality, man. And that was a big thing among the Egyptians and the Canaanites, man. Homosexuality, man. That's how they got all their different demonic powers, man. Through the practicing the witchcraft of homosexuality, man. As homosexuality is witchcraft, man. That's one of the main practices of witchcraft when you go into that whole world of witchcraft, man. Mundo magic, you can look that up, man. Mundo magic, which is still practiced in many parts of Africa to this day, man. Pedophilia, which is still practiced in many parts of Africa to this day, man. Verse 23, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith, neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Consider the ways of the Egyptians and the Canaanites, the Hamites, were ways of confusion, man. Debauchery, lying with beasts, lying with sisters, brothers, incest, idol worship, man. Madness, man. The highest level of madness were practiced by the Egyptians and the Canaanites, man, and all the Hamites, man, the Hamitic nations, man. But you have you niggas out there, you wanna be Hamites, man. You wanna be African, man. You are totally lost, man. You Pan-Africanists, you Rastas out there, you know what I mean? Are you Pan-African, going back to Africa? Negroes, man, you are lost, man. You are not Africans, man. You are Hebrew Israelites. If you're African American, you're from the tribe of Judah. If you West Indian, Trinidadian, Jamaican, Guyanese, Virgin Islands, Antiguan, you are from the tribe of Benjamin. You are not a Hamite. If you Haitian, you are not you are not African, man. You are from the tribe of Levi of the nation of Israel, man. So I'm going to get into the curse that the Most High put on Canaan, man. One of the Hamitic nations. This is the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis chapter 9, verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. Verse 23. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his youngest son had done unto him. Because Ham, the offspring was on Ham, man, to see the nakedness of his father Noah, man. So the Most High cursed his son Canaan for that, man. The Most High put the spirit on Noah to curse his Ham's son Canaan, and he's going to say that right here. And he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And verse 26, and he said, blessed be the Lord power of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. So Canaan is going to be our servant, man. Those Hamites is going to be our servant in the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. So you want to be a Hamite, you want to be a Hamite, a Canaanite, man. You want to be a cursed people, man. Because the Most High cursed Canaan, man. You know what I mean? Curse those Canaanites, man, and kick them out of the chosen land, Israel, man. That's why the Canaanites, the Most High put out a hit on the Canaanites to totally wipe them out. Which Israel being rebellious, they didn't do it, man. But it was the will of the Most High to wipe out the Canaanites. Why? Because they were most wicked. And I'm going to get into that, man, in the book of wisdom of Solomon. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 2. Therefore, chasten thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord. Verse 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. Can't say it was the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to destroy the Canaanites, Hamites, Africans, South Africans, Southern Africans out of the land of Israel, man. Why? Because they were most wicked. Whom thou hatest, so the Most High hatest the Canaanites, man, Hamites, man. He hated the Canaanites, man. So if you want to be your African, man, the Most High hates you, man. He ain't dealing with that, man. Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices. They were doing the most odious works of witchcraft and sacrifices. Sacrifices to demonic gods, man. And that's why you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, man, you still hold on to a lot of those because you refuse to totally destroy the Canaanites out of the land, man. You leave some of them, a remnant of them, to live amongst you. You pick up their demonic witchcraft customs, man. That's why you find among the Haitians, you find voodoo, you know what I mean? You find even among some of the Southern Kingdom tribes that's among the Northern Kingdom, you find Santeria, Brujeria, man. Among the West Indians, you so-called Trinidadians, Jamaicans, Antiguans, so on and so forth. You find Obia, man, Shango, Bobo Shango, all this madness, man, all this witchcraft that you picked up from being among the Hamites, so-called Africans, man. All this madness, man. Voodoo from among the Haitians. You know what I mean? All this madness that you picked up, these odious works of witchcraft, man. Verse 5. And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. And all of these are practices. Cannibalism, man. That's a big practice over there in Africa, man. Cannibalism, blood drinking, man, demonic sacrificing, man. So if you want to be a Hamite, go right ahead, man. The Most High is gonna destroy you, man, along with the Hamites, man. We ain't no fucking Hamites, man. We the children of Israel, a royal and holy lineage. Verse 6, with their priests out of the midst of the idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. So those Hamites were sacrificing and killing their own children, man. Doing all type of demonic and wicked sacrifices, man. And a lot of you Israelites pick up those customs to this day, man. That's why you Israelites are in the predicament of captivity that you are in, man. Know what I mean? Verse 7. That land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of Yahweh's children. So the Most High kicked those bastards, man, those Hamites, those Canaanites out of the land, the chosen, the most precious land, Israel, Jerusalem. The Most High kicked those Hamites out and put in what? The children of Israel, man. The Most High executed judgment, man. You know what I mean? Don style, man. I kicked those Hamites out and put in his righteous children of Israel, man. We ain't no damn Hamites, man. We ain't no Africans, man. So you Negroes have to get that through your thick skull, man. You ain't a Hamite. You are Israelite. You are prince. You are prince of the power. A royal lineage. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. So for all you rastas out there, man, you Selassie coconut head West Indians, man. Hey, man, the Most High is gonna slay those Ethiopians, man, like you say, man. Those Ethiopians, the Most High is gonna slay them with his sword, man. So Selassie, he's gonna be slain, man. Because he ain't no Israelite, man. He is not the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. He's a friggin' heathen, man. The conquering lion of the tribe of Judah is Yahweh Shai, man. One and only, man. Not no friggin' Selassie, man. Not no Ethiopians, or however you want to say it, man. They shall be slain by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai's sword. I read that again. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Can't see Ethiopians are gonna be totally slain, man. And if you haven't been around Ethiopians, man, their spirit is off, man. They ain't nothing like so-called Negroes, man. They are totally, completely different, man. And they look down upon Negroes, man. They look down upon you so-called West Indians, man. You Jamaicans, you Trinis, man. You people from Virgin Islands, Antigua, so on and so forth, St. Lucia. They look down upon you Negroes, man. So all you coconut head West Indians, Rastas, wanna be Ethiopians, man. Hey, they don't want to have nothing to do with you, man. Why? Because they know they are Cush, and you are Israel, man. They know the difference. They know that delineation. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 14. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. So you Hamites, man, you Ethiopians, you Egyptians, man, you're gonna be dying. You're gonna be belonging to us, man. You're gonna be servants and slaves unto us, man. Men of great stature, man. Because a lot of those Hamitic nations are very tall, man. Like going back to Goliath, the Philistines, man. And to this day, man, many of the tallest men in the world come from so-called Africa, man. So you're gonna come bending, man. You're gonna come in captivity in chains. Just like you put us in chains, you sold us in slavery. You and Arabs teamed up and sold us in slavery to the British, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Danish, so on and so forth, man. You're going to have to go into captivity, man. Shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely Yahweh is in thee, and there is none else. There is no power. There's no power. So they're gonna make supplication unto the children of Israel, man. They're gonna say what? Surely there's no power but the power of the children of Israel, man. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. So these proud Hamites, man, you know what I mean? If you ever been around Hamites, man, they have this proud spirit about them, man. And they look down upon you so-called Negroes, man. You West Indians, man. You Haitians, man. They look down upon you, man. Why? Because they know there's a difference, man. We ain't the same. Close it up with this last precept here. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 18, going into the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. So if they're in the kingdom, some Egyptians, man, For example, some Egyptians, some Hamites, man, playing wrong, being proud, and saying they don't want to come do the Feast of Tabernacles, man. What the Most I say? Wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 19. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Salakia, let me jump up. Verse 17, the book of Zechariah chapter 14 verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto the children of Israel to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain, man. So there's going to be no rain, meaning what? They're gonna starve, man. There's going to be famine, man. And their people is not going to be able to eat. So if a nation playing proud and don't want to come up to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, come up to Jerusalem, come up to Israel to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, there's going to be no rain, man. So there's going to be famine, man, and starvation in your land, man, and you're going to die out. Verse 18, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So that's going to be the punishment. No rain, man. You know what I mean? No food, man. So, for example, if the Egyptians, you Hamites, decide to do that, man, there's going to be no rain, no food, man. You're just bare famine, man. Bare death, man. Like what was happening in Ethiopia a couple years ago, man. Ethiopia and Somalia, man. Famine, man. You had those Hamites over there looking like sticks and bones, man. And guess what? The most I wasn't batting an eye at that, man. The most that wasn't even a concern of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Why? Because those are heathens, man. Those Ethiopians, those Somalians, man, they are heathens. Verse 20, in that there shall be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Verse 21, yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and see it therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. So there shall be no more Canaanite, man, no more heathen. Canaanite, man, you Hamites, man. So you have no partaking, no part in the righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. You are heathen, man. You are Gentile, man. You are natural Gentile. You are outside the temple, outside the righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You Canaanites, you Cushites, you Egyptians, you Mizraim, you North Africans. Hey, you are heathens, man. You are Hamites. You are indigenous Africans, so-called, man. So for you Negroes out there, man, especially especially for the southern kingdom of Israel, many of you go under this misconception that you are Africans, man. You are not, man. You are not Hamites, man. You are not Hamites. If you are Negro, once again, you are African American, you're from the tribe of Judah. If you West Indians, Trinidadians, Barbados, Guyana, so on and so forth, you're from the tribe of Benjamin. And if you Haitian, you're from the tribe of Levi, man. You are not a stinking African, man. There's a delineation. But I'll say this also. There are people scattered in Africa, man. Specifically Western Africa. Like the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Ashanti, the Mandinka. You know what I mean? Tribes like these, tribes who have Israelite customs to this day, man. But at the end of the day, we Israelites, man, you Negroes, you so-called Negroes, are not Africans. You are not Hamites, man. Thus say the scriptures. Thus say Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And with that, I want to say, all praises be to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Harakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to rule well. And shalom to all the saints that came out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.